Alright, let's talk about what happens to the facial features under different rotations. Let's start with the eyes first. Now, this might surprise some of you, but the eyes are round. You have an eyeball that is being wrapped by the eyelids that look like this. The eye from the front has somewhat of an almond shape. Now, it depends on the person, not entirely true, of course. Sometimes the curvature isn't perfectly aligned, so you might see something like this. But let's just simplify for right now and call the eye an almond. Where is the eye at the widest part? Well, from front view, it's going to be right about here. Now let's draw the eye in 3/4 view. We're going to have the same sphere, except now the widest part is going to be here. Right? We have an eye that's looking this way. So what happens? This curve becomes much more compressed, and this curve becomes flatter. So you're going to have more compression in the outer curve, the distant curve, and less compression in the nearer curve. So less compression here, more compression as the eyelid wraps around the spherical shape of the eyeball. So an easy way to remember it is that the eye goes from an almond shape into a teardrop shape that looks more like this, that has a more compressed curve on this side. And then the more extreme the rotation, the more the eye starts moving towards profile, the more extreme the compression is on one side. So an eye that is almost in profile, not quite, is going to have a lot of compression on the far side, and it's going to be a lot flatter looking on the near side. So it goes from almond shape to teardrop shape to, how would you describe this? Maybe a slice of pizza, possibly. And then once the eye is completely in profile, it goes from teardrop shape to a wedge shape. So now you're going to see something that looks like this. This is an eye in perfect profile. So it's going to go to here. So that's a pretty easy way to think about it. Start with an almond, that's center view. Then as the eye rotates, look for more compression on one side than the other, a teardrop shape. Towards profile, a wedge shape, a slice of pie, like this. Okay, now what happens to the eye when you have a head that's tilted forward? Well, we need to think about not only the center line, but also eye level in this case. So let's start off by drawing an eye, an eyeball, like this. Here's the center line of the eye. And now, eye level is going to curve down. We're looking at the eye from above, like this. What are you going to see? You're going to see more of the eyelid curving around the round shape of the eyeball. So there's going to be much more curve in the bottom eyelid, and the upper eyelid is going to appear a little bit flatter, like this. In 3/4 view, you're going to combine this with the rotation. So let's start off with an eyeball that looks like this. Here. Now our center line is going to be all the way over here, like this, plus tilting down. So our bottom eyelid is going to be more curved, it's going to be rounder, more compressed on this side. The upper eyelid is going to appear flatter, once again, more compressed on this side, like this. And again, the more extreme the compression, the more extreme the rotation, the more compressed the curve. So an eye that is almost in profile view, rotated, let's say this way, but also tilting down, is going to have a lot of compression here, right? It's going to look more like this, and then a little bit of compression here, and really flat on this side. Okay, obviously I'm not going to draw the eye in profile view because it's going to look the same as this, just tilted down. Now, let's talk about the eye when seen from below. So either the head is tilted back or you're looking at it from underneath. Well, similar situation, very similar situation, except going the other way. So here is your eye, seen from the front, except now rotated ever so slightly upward. What are you going to see? Well, a lot more curvature in the upper eyelid. It's going to wrap around the eyeball, and then the lower eyelid is going to look straight like this. Here's the eye looking upward. Pay attention to the thicknesses. So from this angle, you're going to see a lot more of the thickness underneath the upper eyelid, and obviously no thickness in the lower eyelid. In 3/4 view, we're going to have rotation plus tilt this way. So much more curve in the upper eyelid and more compressed on this side, right? Flatter on this side, like this. So that is an eye seen from below. Notice how I'm emphasizing the shadow here, right? I'm emphasizing the thickness of the upper eyelid. And again, the more extreme the compression as we're moving more and more towards profile. So we have an eye that's rotated this way and tilted up this way. Much more compression here, much flatter here, and then a lot less compression here, obviously. So there's an eye that is almost in profile, not quite. And again, I don't need to draw the eye from these two angles. They're going to look the same, except tilted upward. So those are the eyes from different rotations. Now let's talk about the mouth. So our mouth is going to follow a very similar shape to the eye in that the mouth sits on a slight semicircle. So here, imagine is a half circle. Here's the middle of the mouth. Here's the center line of the mouth. You can see that the mouth has somewhat similar almond shape to the eyes. Like that. All right, now let's see what happens in 3/4 view. Well, we're going to have the mouth line going this way, and now our center line is going to curve like this. So if the mouth is at its widest part in the center, it'll be at its widest part here, and then there's going to be much more compression on this side, less compression on this side. More compression on this side, on the far side, less compression on the near side. So once again, the mouth moves from being an almond shape to more of a teardrop shape. And once again, the more the mouth moves towards profile, the more it goes from teardrop shape to wedge shape. So a mouth that is going this way, whose center line is over here, is going to have a wedge shape to it that maybe possibly looks like this. So now we have a wedge, a slice of pie. I like pie, or pizza, right? Up to you. Almond, teardrop, wedge. Okay, I have a little bit of paper left. Let's see if we can talk about what happens to the mouth from looking from above and looking from below. All right. Here's our mouth. We're looking straight on, except now we're going to look at it slightly from above, or the mouth where the head is tilting down. Center line is the same. The mouth line starts curving down, and then because we're looking at the lips from above, the upper lip is going to appear really flat, really, really thin. The lower lip is going to appear very full. Right? Okay, so this is looking from above, straight on. Let's talk about what happens in 3/4 view. Here's 3/4 view. We have rotation, and we also have tilt going this way. So what's going to happen is a combination of compression on one side. So this part here is going to appear very thin, but also compressed. This part is going to feel straighter, not as compressed. And then a lot of curvature here. The bottom lip is going to appear really full, really curved here, and then thinner running this way. So here's a mouth from above in 3/4 rotation. Same thing is going to happen when you're looking at the mouth from below, or the head is tilted back. Here's the center line. Our mouth line now is going to curve upward. And we're going to have the reverse situation where the upper lip is going to appear quite full, quite thick, and the lower lip is going to appear very, very thin. We're barely going to see it quite often. All right, now let's deal with the angle and rotation when we're looking at the mouth from below. We're going to have rotation going this way, and then the mouth line is going to curve up this way, like this. So in 3/4 view, I'm going to try not to set my middle of the mouth exactly on the center line, but you can see that there's going to be more curvature here, a little bit less curvature here. The upper lip is going to, once again, appear really, really full. The lower lip is going to be thin. Going this way, going this way, going like that. All right, so there's our mouth from a few different rotations. We'll talk about how to draw noses and then details on how to draw eyes and all that kind of stuff in a tutorial where we're actually drawing somebody. But I think that's enough for now.